We are going to get into a track. This is the...
Are we now? We're getting into a track, are we?
This is the second track off the new Chazaiya record, My Good Friend.
You said I had to be quick for an interview, not a track.
Jack.
I'm just pointing it out. There's a lack of consistency here.
This is a track from the new Chazaiya record, My Good Friend Mohee. This track is called Now You're Gone. And of course, you're going to hear Chazaiya on the other side of this track to discuss the record, to discuss the track, as well as a bunch of other goodies. We are going to hear you. You will hear us on the other side of this one, I should say. This is the Happy Hour on 4ZZZ 102.1 FM. Stay tuned for the interview with Chazaiya. Language warning on this one. From the record, My Good Friend Mohee, this is Now You're Gone.
I feel lucky, never forced to spend money on a beat. It's still sunny. Feel alive when I'm out here on my feet. Listen, I'm still running, exhausted when it's still another week. They still want heat, that's why they call
the bro Chazaiya, aka Mohee and Wiggy.
Cooking up in our separate rooms, it might as well be called the stew. Acting like they already knew, but they never even had a clue. Listen, unsure what cracks the dust pursue. Better go and grab yourself a broom. Look, all this new shit my ears peruse. They don't know what Mohee do. Now you're gone. Now you're gone, I still feel the same. Been more than a couple of days. Still separate ways. My soul spread with every word I say. Thought it would, but shit don't change. Now you're gone, man, I still don't heal. I'm indifferent to the way that shit made me feel. Still out eating 3 square meals. Peel my skin back and let the blood reveal. Listen, ain't shit changed since we last spoke. Clouds still rain on the asphalt. Puff jacket when I'm out, it ain't that cold. Just trying to look more like an asshole. I'm grateful that my cone's what I asked for. It's shameful that your fault is cause you're back, bro. It's bad, I don't remember what I last wrote. I'm sick of receiving cast stones, man. I feel like I've been tagged along for years. I had to go and get the bag alone. I fear I'll fall behind like I'm lagging among my peers. Feel like it's so drab when you match careers. Fuck that, man, I'm great and you can't compare. A few eyes, but there's no hate anywhere. No success could ever save my hunger. Swear the aura, you can taste that shit in the air. Now you're gone, I still feel the same. Been more than a couple of days. Still separate ways. My soul spread with every word I say. Thought it would, but shit don't change. Now you're gone, man, I still don't heal. I'm indifferent to the way that shit made me feel. Still out eating 3 square meals. Peel my skin back and let the blood reveal. Now you're gone, I still feel the same. Been more than a couple of days. Still separate ways. My soul spread with every word I say. Thought it would, but shit don't change. Look, now you're gone, man, I still don't heal. I'm indifferent to the way that shit made me feel. Still out eating 3 square meals. Peel my skin back and let the blood reveal. It's for you.
4ZZZ 102.1 FM off the new album My Good Friend Mohee. Right there you heard the track Now You're Gone, and we have none other than Chazaiya on the line. How are you going today?
Hello, I'm good. I'm alright.
It's good to hear from you again. We had you last on the show in February, and this has come quicker than I expected, because last time you told me you were going to drop a bunch of new material soon, but this has been really quick.
Yeah. I have a lot in the works still, but this one I started work on it like last year.
Right.
So yeah, no, I wanted to come out with it like real quick, partially because it's funny, but also because like I just want to be like mad prolific this year.
Yeah.
To like an annoying degree, almost.
And before we discuss the album, we're just going to talk about that track that we heard right there, Now You're Gone, the second track on the record. Tell me a little bit about that one.
That was, I think that was like the second song I've written, like just in general.
Right.
So like I started like writing for the album on my birthday last year, because the idea there was like, you're 19 now, it's time to start rapping on your own beats.
Yep, for sure.
And yeah, so it was like late night, and I just started writing for that one, and that's probably like my favorite beat.
Right.
On the record too, maybe. I don't know. I say that about like a lot of the tracks, but that's definitely up there. Yeah.
And I know you say now you're 19 and you got to start rapping on your own beats, but has this been something that's been in the back of your mind for a while, or has it really just been like a life, I've just come to this conclusion and now I'm going to do it kind of mindset?
It's kind of like been back there. Like I always thought I'd like whenever I'd make a beat, I'd just like imagine like me rapping on it, not in like a, that sounds like really cringe, but like,
no, I get what you're saying.
I'd always like hear like certain flows over it and such, and so I think this is just kind of like a natural conclusion.
Right. And yeah, natural conclusion, sure, but even, like, I would say I wouldn't expect this one. I saw that you were promoting a new record, and I was like, oh yeah, I'll go check it out. I enjoyed the last record. I love your production. But then when you came in rapping, I was like, oh, I don't think I've heard this from you before. Like,
Yeah.
And it was really nice to hear. Especially, I gotta say, man, you're really solid on this one. You sold me really well, and you have a lot of interesting topics to discuss. It's very melancholy and worried about not even just the future but the present, but it's also kind of like it's hopeful in a way, and I very much enjoy that from you.
Thank you. That it means a lot, because I guess I was like very vulnerable on this album naturally, so it means a lot hearing that kind of stuff.
And speaking of which, did you have like a different mindset coming in from the last fully instrumental album into this work? Were you in like a completely different headspace for this one? Were you more anxious to be rapping, or did rapping really feel like musically relieving in a way?
I guess kind of like both. I like the mindset was definitely like a bit different, but I wouldn't say it was like too different in a way, because like, it's different modes. Yeah. Right. So it was like my first time approaching writing and recording. So naturally that's going to be nerve wracking, but I think like the ultimately like the creation process was the same, because I go into like music with the mindset of like, I'm trying to make like my new favorite song or like my new favorite album, and I'm trying to make like everything the best that it could be in my eyes. So in that way, it's kind of the same, where it's like, I'm trying to make like, I guess, the best possible rap album that I could make, though and like, it's kind of different because, again, like I'm newer to rapping, and there's like other rappers that I prefer listening to other than myself.
Of course.
But when it comes to beat making, I know I'm good.
Yeah. So you feel as if there's a little bit more to prove in your rapping?
Oh, for sure.
So I want to get into, of course, we discussed influences on the last record, but you've kind of made it more clear with, especially the album artwork this time, going with the collage theme of what seems to be different influences. I know you had that collage theme created for you. Was it like, did the artist approach you saying, this is what I want, or did you know from the firm set that that's how you wanted it to look?
Okay, so the thing with the cover art is that I did like the collage part. I did like that whole cover art, and then I approached the artist for the portrait on the front of me.
Yeah, nice. So it very much is your influences as they stand at the moment, because for our listeners who haven't seen the actual art cover, there's quite a lot. There's George A. Ben, who we played last week, of course. There's Dos Monos, a lot of film references. You got your Scorsese, Willem Dafoe and The Life Aquatic. And Emma Stone in what's that Emma Stone picture from specifically? Is it a Lanthimos movie or is it just a
cap from The Curse?
Oh, okay.
Nathan Fielder.
Okay.
A24 TV series.
Yeah. I've heard good things about that one.
It's so good.
Yeah. So, what was the reasoning behind putting a collage on the album cover this time, rather than just having the influences speak for themselves through the music?
I think. So I think in this album, I was really thinking, or I think the album that influenced me the most was Wiki's Half God.
That's a good record. That is a very good record.
Yeah. And so you remember the cover from that. It's kind of a collage, even though if it's more abstract.
Yeah.
I initially wanted the cover art to be black and white because of Half God, but then I was like, this looks so much better in color.
Yeah, for sure.
But it was partially that, and then I remembered it's kind of like my Sgt. Pepper's, not to sound a bit too sucking myself off. But,
I see what you're going for. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the kind of approach there.
And it's funny that you should mention that Wiki record, because I got my co-host Jack to listen to the record yesterday so he could give me a few questions to ask you. And his thoughts was that it was very inspired by that Mike and Wiki record from last year. I don't know if that's specifically what you're going for, but that's what he picked up.
I think it's just it's just a similar sound. I wasn't intentionally thinking of that record specifically. But Mike, Alchemist, and Wiki are those are two of my favorite rappers right now, and The Alchemist is The Alchemist. So I don't know how much needs to be said on that, but
yeah, no, and you could, even with this record, you can slightly paint it back to The Alchemist in a weird way, where what he's been doing with Gangrene recently, going back to rapping a bit more.
Oh yeah.
But I wanted to Jack wanted to ask you about the Dos Manos picture, because he likes a bit of their music, and he was saying, especially with their latest album, they traverse a lot of different sounds, and he was sort of wondering if that's what you've been going for more recently with what you've been approaching in your music.
I'm trying to remember what Dos Monos picture I put on the cover, because I know I definitely directly referenced them on the album. Maybe that's what he meant when he messaged me that. Oh, okay, yeah.
Yes, he meant references, not album picture. My bad.
Yeah. Sorry, what was the question again?
Because they traverse a lot of sounds. They've been doing metal rap recently. He wanted to know if he thinks that you tend to traverse a lot of your sounds as well, and he wanted to know if that's a source of inspiration.
I guess in a way I am kind of traversing sound through the music I listen to. I don't think it's as extreme as Dos Monos go.
Yeah.
Throughout their discography, but I think a big part of this album was kind of an introduction to me as a person, and a lot of that is through the sound and the music that I listen to. So it's it's kind of this is the music I like. Here it is for you to enjoy.
Yeah. And I want to ask you directly, because it's not specifically a political album, but you are upfront with a lot of your opinions on where we stand as a species and how that relates to you. And are you much of a political person, or are you just having the sort of mindset of seeing where you are and where you stand and how that relates to everything?
I think here specifically, I'm relating a lot of the politics on the album back to how it directly affects me, which I actually initially considered that kind of a detriment, but now I'm kind of coming to the understanding that it's an introspective album. There's nothing wrong with being because I'm thinking about the song Cycle, where I'm just I'm saying there's all this bad shit going on, and okay, but now I'm anxious.
Yeah.
And initially I was kind of that's kind of okay, who cares? But, now it's I don't know, of course I'm going to be anxious about it. And I think that's just kind of how it is. I guess I kind of lost my train of thought there, but
I will specifically tell you that Jack also like highlighted Cycle as his favorite track on the record as well.
I like that one too. Yeah.
And we're a bit like introspective. Do you consider? I know we discussed the difference between your production ability and your rapping ability, and how you see it as like two different things. Do you call yourself Mohee as a rapper, or do you still like view yourself as Chazaiya? Do you see it as like a dual identity where Chazaiya is the producer part of you and Mohee is more so the rapper, or is it?
I think I was playing around with that idea initially, but I think Chazaiya is the producer, and then like the rapping version of me is like all of me, you know. So he's Chazaiya as much as he is Mohee.
Yes.
As much as he is like any other name that I've used, you know, because that's kind of like the way that I like directly speak.
Yes.
And I think that way I'm able to like use 100% of like, or not 100%, but like most of my brain and my personality.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, for sure. Gonna get back into some of the guest features on this one. Of course, Sydney Phillips feels like a given at this point, seeing as you two have such a prolific work together. But you've got other people on here, including Sleeper. How did the guest features come to be on this one? And did they approach you? Did you just casually mention that you were working on something and they approached you? Or did you specifically seek out both Sydney and Sleeper for this record? Was that intentional?
I approached Sydney and Sleeper for both their respective tracks because I thought that, like, for one, I wanted to, like, do a song with Sydney specifically, but, I thought that, like, both of their sounds would shine on the songs, on those specific songs that they're on.
In terms of sounds, I'm trying to think of the right word here. You've gone through many different sounds on the last record, which was more focused into a thematic. It was all in together in one project. It was thematically same. But with this record, you are all over the place stylistically. And we've talked about the rapping and your mindset. But do you reckon the like expanded styles, it sort of like reflects a troubled mindset, or what do you think? What is your intention with going with so many different styles on this record as opposed to one complete, you know?
I think that's just like how I like producing. I just like I like working with a bunch of different kinds of samples and a bunch of different like sounds. So I wouldn't say troubled, maybe like as a subconscious thing.
Yes.
I think it goes back to like that whole the collage of the album cover, where like that plays into like the whole collage of sounds going on in the album.
Yeah, for sure. You've mentioned more projects in the work, especially upcoming. You said it here, but you've also really in this promo for the album online, you've said that you've got more in the work. Is that more collab records with other rappers, or are you looking to continue this path of rapping? Are you really stuck into this at the moment?
I will say that I definitely do see myself as like above all a producer.
For sure.
So I like that's where my heart's always going to be, because that's what I have the most fun doing. I do love rapping. It's a lot of it's a good way to like get myself out there, but I think production's always going to be like what I have the most fun doing. That being said, I am working on like multiple projects where I am the producer, but I am also working on multiple projects where I am the rapper. So there is a lot in the works. I think like most the one that's like soon coming up is it's a production album. We're in the mixing stage for it right now.
Oh hell yeah!
And it's I'm really excited. It's a collaboration with an American rapper.
Oh, nice.
Hi Girlfriend. She's and she might be like one of the best rappers I know. I've been like getting the songs back from her, and I've been mixing them, and each time I'm just like blown away. So yeah, I'm really excited to get that one out. Hopefully soon, definitely this year.
That's exciting
be on
news.
the lookout for that.
That's good to hear. When I asked you this question, the American rapper was the last thing I expected, so that's good to hear, man.
Yeah.
Speaking of American rap, I just want to quickly talk to you because we've had a strong year for hip hop, and I'm talking strong year. When everybody was claiming that hip hop was sort of on the downstroke, it's been really fighting through this year. What have you been listening to in the last couple of months since we spoke to you? Because there's been a lot of prolific releases.
I've been on like a big Mock Homie binge.
Oh, that new record's
Ever
great.
since like he dropped Rich Ass Haitian.
Rich Ass Haitian is great, yeah, for sure.
I've been listening to that album, or no, like just him in general. I've been like going through his discography,
which is
it's crazy.
It's crazy, but also a hard thing to do, seeing as a lot of the best work just isn't available.
Yeah,
it's a bit of a pain in the ass. But yeah, that new Mac Homie record is definitely one to look out for. But yeah, I want to thank you for coming on the show. We're going to get into another track from the new record. We're going to get into track number 9, RANGO/Beast. Tell me a bit about this one.
So I think that's a song that like split into 2.
Yes.
The first half is probably like the most fun I've had writing a song.
Yes.
It's just like it just kind of like came out naturally, and then the beat is very fun. And then I think I made I think I wrote Beast first, however.
Yep.
And so I thought that would just be like a funny switch up to do because they're very, very tonally different.
Before we get into this track, now that it's hit my mind, I'll just ask you, with this record, did you do the beats first and then approach how you rap, or did you write the verses and then structure like a beat around it?
Kind of a mix. So like
nice.
Most of the time it would be I would do the beat first and then do the writing around that. But for a couple of the tracks I did like the writing first, and I just like imagined like a beat in my head. So for like Party specifically, that one I just like kind of like wrote just like in like one session without a beat, and I was just imagining Golden Hour by Mike.
Nice.
And so when I made the beat, I was just like trying to go for like that kind of vibe there.
Yeah, and with the production side, are you generally, when you think of the beat before you write a verse, are you generally just thinking of like a singular emotion, and that's how you would structure the verse around it?
I guess sometimes it's just like I have like a certain line in my head or like a certain like flow that I want to approach it with.
Right. Well, I want to say thank you for coming again onto the Happy Hour. Definitely go check out My Good Friend Mohee. This is one of the strongest Australian hip-hop projects of the year thus far. And I said that about the last record, Wake Up and Smell the Petrica, back in February. So you're doing strong work here, man, to come out with what I reckon is even a better record a couple months later, especially when rapping is different and new to you. So this is a good one. Definitely go check out the new work. It's been great to hear from you again, man, and I hope to get you back on the show whenever you drop something chazaiya-wise, not even collab, just a solo record when you come back through.
For sure. Thank you for having me.
That's all good. We're going to hear the track RANGO Beast, track number 9 on the record, but a 2-sided song. You've been listening to chazaiya. This is the Happy Hour. Language warning on this one. You are listening to 4ZZZ 102.1 FM.
Skulls from the drum beat, swing hard from the bars like I was a monkey. Key Hoi Quan, I start young and go dumb, G. Providing all the people what they want, G. I'm fucking living, I ain't trying to have fun, G. I'm sick of living, I be acting so numb, G. All these critics acting funny, comedians in it, I be scrapping off the tongue, G. All these rappers doing it for money, this one's for me, I be doing it for art. The rain falls harder when you in another country, and at the laundry it's gonna get dark. I'm known to have heart, that's why I'm closing in on 1G. Anxious about my lungs, that's why I never smoke a dart. And the bars are all clunky. I ain't fucking with these cunts, they tryna act hard. They tryna act smart, but they all acting dumb, G. Here a long time like I'm looking for the One Piece. You missed the mark like he's shooting Iron Lung, G. My bro real stupid, but he got a G. You never catch it when the song's deep, cause the mix real muddy and it's blowing out your car speakers. I still know when the song's heat. I switch it up like I'm out here rapping on the wrong beat. In the streets, another beautiful day. Sun rays when I see that smile up in your face. The concrete had my shins reeling in pain. Life's so sweet when you unplugging your brain. Using indifference to combat the hate. Man, the news so vivid is the natural way. The calm on the devil's supernatural aid. They bomb Rafa on camera day. You stupid if you think that that's the date. Ain't a natural state. Popcorn chicken and you looking away. I feel real different about y'all these days. There's a BC and nonchalance. You never speak, you don't feel shocked anyway. You don't care about the shots, man, you don't pray. It's just what you want, man, you don't change. I don't want my city in a disarray, but I would take that over any holidays. There's a BC and nonchalance. Another fuck. In the streets, another beautiful day. Sun rays when I see that smile up on your face. In the streets, another beautiful day. Sun rays when I see that smile up on your face.
If you don't want to hear cheeky language, you better switch the radio now.